will not stop yet. There's still chaos going on. Pushes forward. Jexy goes down. Trap gets armed right next to him, and they're into the top 10. Issa picks up another one on the high ground. They're on 19 now. He needs to circle back around and find the zone, and he finally does. Narshni goes down. Delay goes down. Top Boy goes down. Closing in on top 5, and he finds it. Jinsen goes down as well. 6 left.
Are their health bars working? They haven't taken any damage that's significant at all. Still both alive on separate. They're playing solos. Guys, you queued up for the wrong mode. What's going on? It's 9 circle, 8 people alive, both on separate layers. Still 3 stinks available for pressure, doing their own thing. Back-to-back intensive goes down. The workout's too much for him. Another sting going on height to help out his buddy Issa on low HP. Camo, finally these guys are getting put in check. Issa taking stinks. 1 HP. He goes down. Can Camo clutch up? A mini coming up. The enemy pops in with a heavy sniper. Mark bringing down their big rain, but so many eliminations as we move on to the last 1v1. Alphen up with Mark going and bullying the last solo player left alive. Issa's big rain going down. Camo also going down as well. Alphen with a big combat shotgun pop shot. Intensive 8x finally going down as well. They secured the Elim points. They secured the victory royale as well. But Camo and Issa, holy moly.
That was huge right there, but not to be understated. Alphen and Duo picking up 18 points right there, 8 elims and the victory royale. Zeke, that was nuts.
Sundown, that was absolutely insane. I mean, first of all, it's so awesome to hear Shai's voice and hear how incredible he is at casting. Let's just
a great first cast. That was
great
beautiful.
First cast, especially in that game with Issa and Camo. Controller lords, with you got to think with another pop-out performance like that.
Yes.
They could be potentially contesting for a spot.
They could be the only full controller duo to qualify for a World Cup. It is the last chance for any of that to happen. So with games like that, Zeke, this is just the start of the day, by the way. This is the first block of games. We have way more Fortnite, but for now, let's hang out with Bala. I know you've pulled some clips for us to take a look at. Let's see what you got. Yeah, I can explain. I can explain some clips here of what happened into those games. Tickle. I mean, he's by himself. He's trying to clutch up, and everything was going wrong there. He ended up being placed underneath the stairs. His heavy snipe didn't get the wall. The turbo build came in, and then even here, getting the stairs placed, this duo was going to come out on top of him, but he's able to stay composed, get the elimination, and then another situation that was unexpected. Somebody lands right behind him, and he still managed to get away, even with low HP. And when we looked at the leaderboards at the front, we saw all of these teams that were in this game. Here, Orc and Andalex on high ground. They use the chug splashes to recoup a little bit before Telek unfortunately gets a little antsy, jumps out, and that's going to be the end because both Andalex and Orc are looking down on top of him. Here, Osmo goes on a tear with his teammate Milan. And I mean, some of the things that they did here, this was really interesting to me because you used to run out in the storm and just tank the damage from the storm to get the loot. But in this case, he's using the chug splash to recover instantly. And then what a catch there from Osmo. We're going to look at another team here, Provoked and Imagine, who are so close to qualifying week after week, especially last week 8. Provoked actually goes down on a waterfall there as somebody makes its way there. But this shot was disgusting. He didn't even actually get that elimination. He did a 112 to him to the face, but actually Jorge, who was up on high ground towards the end, managed to nag that from him. But then Osmo taking on both Carnifex and Harmy by himself. Back on Imagine though is Osmo finally, because he doesn't have his shotgun reloaded, ends up going down. Imagine with the good attempt after we saw Provoked end up going down from fall damage, takes out Risk while in the storm, and then makes another storm play to kind of try to catch him by surprise, but it's not going to be enough. But it was so close, Zeke. This shot right here, and then look at this. He was so close. He already had his crosshair on his face, but no. Jorge is going to take the win just barely by milliseconds here, Zeke. This was so close.
Hi, Olivia.
Coming down there to the wire, man. This is just what Fortnite is, right? Like, everyone's going to give it their all. Everyone wants to qualify, and that's the kind of stuff we're seeing. Let's take a look at the leaderboard to see how things are shaking out currently. I can't even read.
Den Magisk, I don't know.
Den Magisk?
Magisk. I'm going to call him Magisk.
Magisk, great. And TTV, I'm the Beast. We know you. You've been hanging out here for a while. At the top still, though, 7 games remaining.
Yeah.
This is pretty substantial. 3 victory royales right now, 100% win rate. Yeah. Wait, what?
That is ridiculous. I mean, 62 points. This might be flipped here. Games remaining versus matches played. Possibly Benji Fishy and Mr. Savage. We've seen them week after week, and people are starting to, use that Fishy tag at the end of their name to get the good luck. But I mean, Wolfies and Rojo were up here earlier. They've got 57 points now. They dropped down from 1st to 4th. Skite and Vato, who are just barely, I think they got 9th place twice in a row in the duos week. So that's one of the French-speaking duos that have not yet made it. We saw the Solary guys go through before, and then some of these other guys as well, Andalex and Orc, we saw their win. And Dreda, who had the crazy performance in week 9, you guys watched it. Just unbelievable. So it's shaping up. I mean, I'm already seeing Skite and Vato. I'm starting to get excited because they start to play better as time goes on. And we just have all but time right now. It's running down, though.
Yeah, for sure. I'm ready to get back into these games. Bala, if you are as well, I think we're going to send it back over to Sundown and Shy. Gentlemen, back over to you and keep the action rolling.
Thank you so much, Zeke and Bala. All good, Shy, no worries. But I'm so excited. Like you said, we saw so many of those guys up on that top board. It's so incredibly dense. 52 players in this lobby, 28 duos remaining. And again, the 4 final spots, we're coming down to it right now. That line, because the Mr. Savage and Benji Fishy duo have already qualified, would be 54 points. 51 was on the bottom. 3 points separating everyone. That's how tall you have to be to ride the ride. And Storm Surge is on again, Shy.
The pressure is active in EU, and we are in pressure plant as well. The lava's hot. These skins look hotter. The guns look very nice as well with that new camo that's out in the shop as well. A lot of edits going up and around. Once again, Geysers up in play. A lot of free rotation, free shots being taken too. But a miss coming in from Speezy, very, very close to the opponent's head. Baller's getting shot down on Storm line. Once again, a very good position. A lot of people playing for pre-positioned advantage points and then milking those elims rather than getting them on the fly. The guys are being baited now. Can the beams come through? White HP on that opponent. His fly gets cut short. Jarkos going down now. Where's his dual partner? We don't know. His finish is going to be coming out now as these sweaty soccer skins, Alex and Speezy, are just going to be tearing up this low ground, making sure no one's allowed to be this tall for this EU ride on the northeast side of the map.
And you see them actually able to get into the mid ground. Alex was the player from the Winter Royale who hadn't played competitive before. It was just always in the arena duos and said, hey, I'm pretty good at Fortnite, and through the open structure has now been in all of these end games. But Speezy now going to opt to tarp away. We'll see the conversion happen onto Alec, and now has to make some tough decision in terms of loot. Is going to drop the heavy snipe in favor of taking the rift? Will he opt to fix anything else up? And you can see now he's trying to go back through and just make sure he gets every possible little bit he can.
In these solo spots, when you have to face up against other duos, those spam weapons are always vital. That choice of keeping the drum gun and the AR even on low ammo, Speezy knows at some point is going to be a desperate motion on the low ground or mid ground in terms of making sure that spam is up on opponents' builds. So very smart decision there as we tune into the Fnatic boys. Motor and Vrox going to be looking at their own loot at the bottom here. Have a rift to go as well. Shadows available to get caught up after grabbing the rift, but Motor misses out on those. Not sure if that'll affect him later on. Once again, there are a lot of geysers and a lot of ways to trickle down from height to stay on top of rotation, but that might be a big hit to their loadout and overall play this game.
Yeah, I really hope Vrox grabbed those because honestly, shadows are the most consistent in terms of the utility tool. Being able to rotate, you have either top down or down up. You're able to rotate and get high ground if necessary and just make really clutch plays in a pinch. As you see, a lot of other people rotating the good old-fashioned way. It's Fortnite, the battle is building, and everyone is tarping up the side of pressure plate and trying to do damage because that Storm Surge is still active. You can see Motor and Vrox about 9 points off that pace right now to be in the top 10, 12 points off qualification pace. What can they do to get themselves closer? There they are. There are the shadows we saw earlier. Will he be able to grab them? Is that another misgrab coming out from Motor? And we talked about the clutch and the pressure being on. Now actually misses himself with one of the chug splashes too, but doesn't matter. Call him an action hero as he slides down the side of the volcano and finds the elim.
Very smart loop balance from those duos as well. Vrox goes down, but he did have a slurp ticking while he let Motor play with those chug splashes. You know, it's easy to have a very efficient chuck splash in duos, but on rotation, it's very hard to hit you and your partner. So very smart decisions there. Motor has to be smarter now in a 1v2 situation, using all his mats. Around 800 left now as people go down left and right. 26 people left alive, 18 duos, no placement yet. Once again, 7th zone, and a lot of pressure coming down on Motor. His shield getting knocked down, still has those chuck splashes to use on the move, making sure that zone damage is not a problem. Shields, not a problem, as he gets all the way back up to 100 HP. Once again, his early game was amazing. Get those guns out, but his life goes down as well to Bodike.
And he misses the top 15, so no placement points there. Vato and Sky are going to be happy about that, as Vato is still in the lobby. You have Ibu High now with the combat and the Flint still rolling around in the ball. And Proxima Star, who was in the top 3, also picking it up there. And Proxima Star being the player who's been around forever, since like the original Summer Skirmish. So good to see his name back up there as Flavo picks up Wraith's Guard, and we're closing in on the top 10. Buhai trying to find a decent amount of space there in the middle, but somebody is way up on Ultimate High as we're rotating around. Zeke gets blasted by Flavo in the back. Will the Elim come through? No, he's able to find the zone, but not able to pop it off, as now all of a sudden Old Man Mountain, 1-2 players up top. This is when you wish you had Shadow Bombs. Matsu and Ibu High on the mid ground. Ibu High gets that, but Proxima Star and his teammate just get to rain down shots on the rest of the lobby. Ibu High trying to find some space to exist, but he's going to have to go back over now into the plant. Is only Ibu High in a 1v2, and that's not going to be enough. Fury Legend and Proxima Star going to close that one out. 6 elims and the victory round. That's how they were at 57 points. That's what got them up there, and hopefully they can keep on that pace to qualify.
They ended that game so fast, still had 9 impulses and 2 smoke grenades left at the end, but they decided to just give the lobby a whole haircut as we move in. Once again, the same zone. Geysers going up once again. A lot of launch pads can be saved on this 5th zone rotation. A lot of mats can just be saved as well when you're up in the air, not taking too many shots and basing up, going for these big vantage points as well. Benji Fishy now, the inspiration for a lot of duos in the EU region, getting their name switched for that good, sweet luck in terms of qualifying. He's getting checked on his edit, getting a little bit too close there, giving his fish hat a little bit of a haircut. A lot of heals being used on that as well. Could be a mistake that proves fatal at the end of the game.
And one thing I do like, though, is with how many more shields there have been in the games, is players are taking more risks. They're poking out more. They're looking for more trades. They're willing to go take fights, because it's like, hey, if we don't get everything here, it's not the end of the game. As Rickolas finds a great double snipe onto him. That's what we talk about, always making sure you cover 2 layers. So what are they going to do? They're going to disengage down and over 1 layer and make sure they're boxed up. They are already very close to the safe zone, not quite in it, so we'll need to rotate just slightly over, but have the guys there to do it. I mean, this lobby's stacked. You see Crew, Nairo, Milan, Osmo, Chapik, Snowda, like, jeez.
We get into these last 4 games, and the games only get bigger with better players over and over. Aqua in here with Nyrox as well. We're going to be tuning into their super dope position up top on this hill. Going to be cutting off a lot of people rotating from mid-ground. They're going to just have to rotate early, though. They're not in zone just yet, dropping just a few layers, but every layer you do drop, that's a box saved on mats. So moving diagonally this way is very smart, but also risky, because you have a little bit less of protection from front. You just saw there Nyrox trying to get double sniped off of his position, but is dynamic in his box, saves that up. Utility now getting split from each duo, making sure each person has a nice exit plan in case that fire alarm sounds in their game and stuff hits the fan. Nyrox going to be looking out, up and around for any vantage points. 5th circle to 6th is that kind of stalemate time where you can look for picks. He gets a nice 33 damage shot on a duo moving down bottom. Aqua looking through his pyramid, looking for any information up on the map as well.
Yeah, and they're just trying to chill. They're just trying to hang out right now, doing everything they can to keep whatever amount of space and to get over on the far side of the zone right away. And that's one thing we've talked about a number of times. When these moving zones come in and you have utility, you want to pop it, get far side, box up, and then turn and see the rest of the lobby. Here's a prime example of it. That's white damage. Going to follow it up right away with the stink grenade. You don't get away from that. He's going to continue pouring down the pressure, and that is Blood X of E11 going down on the side. Brilliantly done, but can they convert onto it? The Storm will move past it, so they want to go over and try and get whatever mats as well as that siphon on it.
Once again, EU is so good at just using their utility and following up with the shots. Nyrox now going down, unfortunately, could not cover his head up top. Very still smart plays there, playing off of his thing, saving that last one until he had damage rather than just using it for an impact in the game. Always make sure you're milking the most out of the stuff you have in your inventory. Benji now still alive with Savage, looking for a reload while the wall goes down. Very unfortunate there. That small mag size of the infantry rifle proving to be fatal in terms of getting that elimination point. Benji and Savage now in the same box, and caught up in a big community rift. Chapik's going down, getting knocked all the way. Not sure in the rift or beforehand. That Elam coming through though, that shield will go back up once that server starts moving and the storm goes over that downed enemy.
So he actually got knocked because that was the shot that he hit right before on him. That was the 87 tick. The storm ended up then ticking him over and then getting it. That was that extension where it's a minute after you've damaged someone. But we have our top 15, so 3 placement points going out to everyone. The Fishies getting those as well, so on 5 points so far from this match. And also still have 2 Shadow Bombs with a lot of mats, so they're going to be able to play for late as Andretta gets picked up. So did get the top 3 points going there from top 15, but not anything more there. Majin provoked on the mid tarp. You see I'm the Beast and Magisk Pulse on the high ground above him. Takeoffs just below. Zappy and Red Rush, another duo who have already qualified, just below. Anonymous 27, not to be confused with Anonymous 72. Just below Dementos here as he's tarping towards the side, trying to make it into the top 10.
A lot of mid-ground tarps coming out now. The zone will start moving in more awkward ways. A little bit of time for Dementos at the moment to see if he can put pressure down up top or down below. Putting vertical pressure upwards as a mid-ground tarper is very, very hard. His duo is down, but does have 6 eliminations. Pay over there. These guys have 8 in total. Looks like it's going to be 9 now, unless, no, it was just a finish on Dementos. He's going to be going over on his tarp once again.
But it got him into the top 10, so it's fine that it wasn't his conversion because he still gets 2 points going there from knocking that team out right as the teammate went over. Now Dementos trying to find some room. So far they have gotten 13 points from this match, but they need to pick up the pace there. We saw the top duo was on 60 plus, being up 44. Needs every possible points as 27 picks up Trox. Dementos still trying to tarp over, edits himself back in, finds an angle, but immediately gets cut off. Provoked finds the conversion onto 27, and Dementos is just gonna chill, popping that utility. And again, we've talked about it, just so many more risks and time you get there. As now he's gonna drop down, start to get test. 1 shot, 2 shot, 3 shots. Can he find it? 4. Finally gets it after using 6 of the 10 combat shots there, but stops Provoked and gets him into the top 5. That could have end up being huge, but Pulse and I'm the Beast working top down right now. Look at the chaos on the low ground. Tohaj being picked up by Benji Fishy and Evade ADDZ adds, closing him out there. Another player who has played in the skirmishes before. Beast trying to find whatever space he can. Dementos blowing up adds there as now it's a 1v2. Dementos in the bottom right. I'm the Beast in the top right with his partner, Magisk Pulse, and there for the high ground. Dementos goes, launch pad straight up. Max Glide Height comes in. Can he build it away? Magisk pops him off. Dementos tried to get back in the zone, but Magisk Pulse brilliantly done, so well executed, and that is why they're on the top, sitting up there currently with the 62 points.
What a close match going right down to the wire. One more shot is all he needed there, but it was not possible, did not connect. The duo does hold it down. Once again, this pattern, very, very smart solo play there, making sure he can pick up all the eliminations before the game ends, even though it's a 1v2 spot right here. Now we got Nauka and MXR, who are both chilling in their big base. Looks like next to Stormline as well, one of the best positions you can be in. Very, very nice loadout there for them as well. They've got the long-range beam, the follow-up with the drum as well, and that crucial combat shotgun, which did get nerfed a little bit on this patch, but is still the fire rate and that swap delay coming off allows you to make so many cool plays. They both are sitting on 0 eliminations at the moment, so they must make this effort to catch up near the end of the game.
Yeah, and just one thing in terms of the combat shotgun change, I feel like it's kind of mitigated just because of the removal of the shotgun timer. It ends up allowing you to kind of do, a lot of people call it the TFU Classic, where you're ramping out and you're able to effectively tarp and shoot at the same time with very minimal amount of exposure. And I think it sort of makes up for the slight change in the range in terms of the tiles and how much damage it does. So the combat still being very, very, very strong in the current meta, but you can see MXR being able to push in, trying to find the conversion. Is some pressure from above and just goes for it. Gianni Jr. showing why he's not Gianni Sr. being taken down there outside the top 20. No placement points for you and a lot of time wasted in that lobby.
just a dope reaction there to look up and then look straight up or straight ahead of himself. MXR just carrying that fight right there. Yuntos and Ryu now getting focused by the whole server. Very unfortunate when this happens. Stinks coming down as well, so that's going to be a very, very hard situation to get out of. Ryu now going down. Heiko getting his third elimination, putting him and Ono Kill together on the same or on 4 eliminations there, making sure their points get counted up. 35 points total at the moment. That placement point's going to be coming in, and 4 more duos coming down. 35 people left alive, so that zone surge will also be an option as well.
Yeah, and that was a high-value stink. And that's one thing you talk about, you know, it feels really unfortunate when you're getting focused by the whole server, but the reason you're getting focused by the whole server is because you're in an obvious 1x1 that was just rebuilt without priority on the next zone. If everyone is going to focus you, it's much easier to just pile in. You can hear the Rift go off left eye, trying to hit it, trying to do everything he can. Will end up finding it there. Storm Surge is active as we have 18 duos left and 34 players, so pretty much everyone has a buddy with them.
And then, yeah, absolutely. This is going to be a stacked team-based endgame at the moment. A lot of 4-gun loadouts also coming in together right now. Dan Zizzle going down on Shadow Nades. A lot of multiple high ground tarps. A lot of them go down. Cazorla is going to be up top. 1 Shadow Nade left on Heiko at the moment. Andre going down from Cazorla's high ground pick. He gets finished off. Heiko gets that big reward off of it, the mats, the utility campfires as well for the end game. Pickaxe is coming full swing, making sure every wall is theirs before they set on the next move. Not quite in zone yet, but that tunnel will be very, very proficient. We're talking about those combat changes as well before. That also changes the range of engagement, as now we have more ARs. The style of the game and how it actually flows as more people are basing up to shoot rather than shooting on the fly if they're not going to be able to box fight, changes the way people move around the map as well.
And it kind of has given a little bit of a resurgence, what we've seen so far, to the drum gun. It allows the drum gun to have a little bit more of that mid-range feel to it, to where it is going to out-prioritize the combat shotgun, whereas before the drum gun very much so got forced out in terms of effectiveness as we hit our top 15, so 3 points going over from everyone, because why run a drum gun when you can have an FSA rifle and then the combat? But now there really is kind of a space that's between, like, it's closer to like 4 to 9 tiles where the drum gun just shreds. And even now you can see, boom, tack AR, turn about face, 2 elims right there for Johnny Boy and Cazorla. Brilliantly done. Once those will end up tick over, they do have the top 15 as well, as Dan Hizzle gets forced out of the lobby. Proxima Star also gets down and everyone gets pulled up into the sky. We're closing in. Boom, top 10 next placement threshold.
6 chunk splashes still left. We haven't seen them use to their full potential just yet in these end game storm heal-off scenarios. Proxima Star not going down, the high ground star of the last few games that we saw. A lot of wood builds means that these spam weapons are going to pack a wallop, as Johnny Boy gets another knockoff on Ibuhai, the baller player we saw from the other game as well. These rapscallions being sneaky, moving around in brick, metal, and wood. A lot of these big mats now finally coming out, making sure that spam gets stopped down, but more pressure vertically being put down as lair switches come down from their opponents as well. Johnny Boy getting that pickup, maybe not the elimination there, as Ono Kill also gets another one on top.
Yeah, and it was a really good try from Janus there to disengage, dropping back down, but unfortunately wasn't spotted. But Team Queso lighting up the top left as Zohan was able to find 3 elims, make it a 4th, as the Spaniards are just dragging their way almost into the top 5. But now Cazorla doing everything he can on the side of the zone. Johnny Boy is still up as well. Great 130 shot in the immediate replace. Kind of upset he didn't try and follow it up right away, but he does. That was Fury Legend. Proxima Stars duo is going to get taken out and outside of the top 5, so that's 2 points is leaving down there. 1 chug splash is tossed out there as we're closing in. 9 players left, 6 duos remaining, Shy.
Yayas has all the pressure on him now to get that last placement spot. He is low on HP, but it is kind of free for that. Once again, it goes through 4 duos left now. MXR still alive. His dual partner as well is going to be a big fight on the low ground, and 1 person confirming things from the high ground. Low ground, though, we do have almost 11 chug splashes available as these boxes get bursted into. Ono Kill going down to MXR. Another quick flick. Yayas going down. He tried to come off from high ground. Maybe he ran out of mats, but nothing worked out for him there. A 4-gun loadout. That heavy sniper still being available. Priority reload on it as well. 3 duos left. Looks like Nauka is down at the moment. MXR moving up on the highest priority ground right now. There might be someone higher than him actually at the moment. Heiko and Johnny Boy on the bottom as well with Cazorla. We'll see what they can do. MXR is going to be controlling this fight at the moment. Heiko, these chug splashes coming down from Johnny Boy and Cazorla. They have so many to use amongst themselves. They're finally going to run out. They're going to be a little bit late on the storm. Heiko going down. Johnny Boy and Cazorla are going to be fighting it out against each other as well. MXR is going to be pressured from the top. Johnny Boy goes down. Cazorla now has to avenge his dual partner and see what can be be done here. Both people taking storm picks. MXR coming down, but the heavy sniper is not enough as Cazorla wins that game out all the way, tarping in from that low ground position, making sure he pops off at the right moment, making the best decisions possible, clutching out that game for his duo partner.
It was all about the chug splashes. You called it early, but he went, he hung out on the low ground. And even though he got the siphon, EMXR was not able to close out the match just because he held zone, had the chug splashes. And